Sometimes we think that it's over just because man said that it's over.
All
But I
right.
want you to know that he's God and he's God all
by
himself.
himself. All right. Yes.
And to the family, and to the Reverend Sister Grace, and Diane, and what always struck me was whenever that I saw Reverend Grace, whatever the fight was, that you all were always there. And I got to thinking about a triangle where, a triangle has three sides. And I always call you all the triangle. And many words have been said on last evening and all. But Reverend Grace was unique. We both was associates here at Zion, and I was his pastor until he started his church. And what life is all about is really when you leave that, you leave a legacy that you have done something. It's not just enough to come on this earth and just live, but it's equally important that you make a contribution. Even the dogs and the cats
All right.
make a contribution. Someone trying to break in your house, your dog will start barking. You got any rats around there? Cats will keep them away. And I'll be brief, and at your leisure, there's a couple of scriptures I would like for you to read. And the first one is that Job chapter 14, verses 14.
Get those.
Job
All right.
raises a very eloquent question. If a man die, shall he live again? If a man die, shall he live again? Now I want to move over to the New Testament, to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, and starting at verse 19, where Luke is the writer, and Jesus is the spokesperson. And here we find a parable where Jesus himself allowed us to peek behind the curtains of death and enable us to see a very clear picture as to what takes place on the other side of death. Going back, if a man dies,
All right.
he live again. Now, if you notice, and I want you to pay attention here, because in this parable, and we're all familiar with the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. We're very familiar with that parable. And most theologians say it's not a parable because in that parable, which is different than any other parable, there are two names he specifically Abraham, he mentions names there, specific names. And he also calls the general man, the rich man. Now, what is so neat about this? This is the only parable that where Jesus takes us on the other side of that. And he makes it very, very clear. He points out this rich man. And here's this rich man have all the purple, all the fineries and everything. And now there's the beggar that is eating the crumbs from the table of the rich man. But you know, just keep in mind, however you living and whatever you're doing, payday is
All right.
soon or later.
Oh, yes.
Payday is coming soon or later.
Oh, yes.
And we go on, and the rich man died, and Lazarus died, but Lazarus died first. And when Lazarus died, the angels came and delivered Lazarus to the bosom of Abraham. And in the Old Testament, the bosom of Abraham refers to paradise. So he delivered him to paradise. And because most of you who have heard me preach this message, I always point out that a few days ago, see, that was a weapon committee that was up there. That
All right.
in that. And so here, as we move along, we don't want to miss our point. The rich man died. And when the rich man died, he ended up in hell. But one of the things that was kind of peculiar, he never respected Lazarus on this side.
Mm-hmm.
None at all. And he couldn't bring himself because he was still thinking about his riches when he was on the other side of the death. So he started a conversation with Abraham. He said to Abraham, if you would have Lazarus to just go and dip the tip of his finger in some water and come and touch the tip of my tongue. And you might say, Reverend, what's so important about that? Well, it answers the question. If a man dies, shall he live again?
Oh, yeah.
Because we find here, not only do these 5 senses that you have on this side of this, but you're going to have those same 5 senses on the other side of this.
All
and
right.
if you go ahead and you read that scripture through and through, the same senses. So I want you to know today, if you want to meet and see Reverend Ray, then you got to get ready on this side.
All
You
right.
can't wait until you get to the other side.
Yes.
See, the rich man,
All right.
he didn't discover that until it was too late because he wanted to get ready on the other side. And then he stopped there because Abraham went on and said, wait a minute now. There's a divide.
Yeah.
I can't come over where you are, and neither can you come over where I am.
Go ahead. Yes.
So, today, all that said, if you want to see Reverend Wade, you got to get it right on this side.
This side.
You can't wait
Yes, Lord.
until you get to the other side. Our biggest problem is we have too many people who are waiting till they get to the other side. But I want you to know you have to get it right.
Right down here. Oh, yes, Lord.
You got to get it right on this side. I want you to know it's all right, church. It's all right, church. It's all right, church. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I know
Yes.
Because see, one of the things we really don't understand this. See, death is separation. Okay. Now, I believe that there was a soul brother that had a son when you did you done that. Because I never came across one of the hymns. But I want you to know, with separation, we can take something like a booster and the spacecraft. That booster falls away. But that spacecraft goes on and takes care of what it has to do. Now, the amazing thing about all of this, the spacecraft comes back, that booster falls into the sea. And the Navy is out there to pick that booster up when it falls back in the sea. And they bring it back and they use it over, But one of the things is I get close to the end.
Go ahead.
Think about the caterpillar. If you picture the caterpillar, that caterpillar, as long as it's a caterpillar, all it can do is crawl on something. It needs something to crawl on. Yes, sir. But then, when that caterpillar begins to go through that separation state, that transformation state, and someone used to say there was 1,000 legs. I never tried to count them, but it looked like it might have been 1,000 legs. And yet I don't believe it was 1,000 legs. But for the sake of this, we just call it 1,000 legs. When all of that sheds away, and you see that what comes out of that beautiful, that butterfly that has the wings, and all of a sudden, just before, all it could do was just crawl and go from one bush to the other. If I wanted to go from one bush to the other, if I crawled up, I got to crawl down, crawl across the ground, and crawl back up. But all of a sudden, that gets shaken, that whole body is shaken. And now you find that you see that beautiful butterfly that can fly all around. You see, that's the way it's going to be with us. Oh, when we share this load that we have, share this burden that we have, and we go to a city that is called the New Jerusalem.
All right.
And I call no more, because when you go to begin to describe what goes on in this city is no more death, no more pain, no more heartache, no more headache, everything. Some people describe it that there's a city paid to go. Oh, brother.
Yes.
What a mighty God.
Research. All right. Yes. That's all right. Oh, yes, Lord. That is all right. Oh,